Okay, there it is. We are live. Good afternoon, Lions fans. We are on the eve of the game in Tampa Bay tomorrow against the Buccaneers. Let's talk about it. Well, son, here we are the day before the game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tomorrow in Tampa Bay. The first thing I would like to touch on is the fact that the game got flexed. So this is the first flex for the Lions. It was supposed to be a 1 o'clock start. It is now a 4:25 start. What's your thoughts on the Lions getting flexed?
Um, you know, I guess I'm not surprised. The Buccaneers, even though they are considered the underdog, they have a pretty good, or actually, they have identical records. They're both 3-1, aren't they?
I think they're 3-1. We're 4-1. For some
Oh, geez.
reason, Tampa Bay had a. I think they might have had a bye last week.
Oh, okay.
I think
Okay.
so.
Well, so we both only have one loss. So I guess what they're saying is I think they're saying they think it's going to be a pretty good game because of what from
Yes.
what I can tell, 425 means that more people will have their eyes on the game. If I'm correct, right?
You are correct. I was listening to my guy Ross Tucker's podcast early in the week, and he had one of the NFL people on there who deals with the schedule and flexing, and they talked about flex schedules. And the guy did bring up the Lions and the Buccaneers. He said we flexed that game this week, and he said the reason why we flexed it, he said, is because this is a more interesting game. He said so the 425 slot, there's more eyes on it. So they said that they thought it'd be a good idea to have more eyes on the Lions Buccaneers in the 4 o'clock spot than to keep them at the 1 o'clock spot. So you are correct there. So that is, that is what's happening with that. Now let's talk about the game. The first thing I want to talk about is the injury report. If you see my screen that I'm sharing right here, you see all the injuries for the games. I'm gonna start at the bottom, son. I don't know what's up with Teddy Bridgewater. I'm assuming he's not gonna be at the game. It says a personal reason. Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, Amon St. Brown all say unspecified, but I believe they're going to play. Khalil Dorsey, Sam Laporta, questionable. I believe they're going to play, but I want to talk about the people who are out, son. DB Brian Branch, running back Jameer Gibbs, guard Jonah Jackson, running back Bam Knight, tight end James Mitchell, Emmanuel Mosley, which we know, and defensive end Josh Pascal. What is your thoughts on the people who are going to be out this week? I'm going to say, son, particularly Jameer Gibbs. What's your thoughts on people being out? Because other people we kind of knew were going to be out.
Yeah. Honestly, I've kind of already hit on this before. I guess why I didn't know he was going to be out, but because when I saw it was a hamstring thing, I guess I'm not that surprised that he's out for this game.
Right.
Hopefully he's not. Hopefully he's not out next week too. But I mean, I guess I'm not trying to criticize him too much. So I don't know if the Lions, like someone said, maybe the Lions got to do some yoga or something. Because dang, we saw a lot of injuries last week. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that because I really don't. Honestly, unless you're like going full speed, I don't know how you can pull your hamstring. So I kind of wonder what he was doing to even pull his hamstring like that. And I'm just wondering. So what happened? Didn't DeAndre Swift pull his hamstring last year, or did he not?
I'm sure he did. Yeah, he did something very similar. Yes.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm not going to criticize him too much. I guess mainly because we're winning games. But
Right.
if he's, I mean, I've already said that it was a mistaken pick, and I don't want to get into it too much. I'm still baffled why we didn't get Bijan Robinson. I wish someone could please give me some insight on that. I don't understand why the Lions didn't get Bijan Robinson, knowing that's the type of guy
Right.
that they like. But it's cool. I'm hopefully Jameer Gibbs pans out. And with Brian Branch, honestly, he's another guy where I'm not saying he was a bad. He's definitely a good pick and stuff. But honestly, we're good at safety and stuff. Like we've shown that already. Like with Ifanti Melifonwu and Tracy Walker back there. To be honest, so I Brian Branch and Gibbs being out, I don't think it's really going to affect the team too much. To be honest.
Well, I'll tell you my opinion, son. I think that I'll start with Branch. I think now personally, I think that Branch being out is a big deal. I think that he was starting to become kind of the heart of the defense, in my opinion. And I think that he was a good pick to be in that big nickel spot slash safety. But I do think that we have enough to get by this week. As for Jameer Gibbs, I'm really trying to be patient. I had very high hopes for him going into the season. I'm not trying to jump the gun. I don't want to say just yet he was a bad pick, but this is what you have to do, and this is fair. When we passed on Jalen Carter first, the Bears also passed on him, and I remember listening to Bears fans say that, okay, we passed on Jalen Carter and we took a D tackle. I don't remember who it was in the second round. So the Bears fans said we're gonna always compare that dude to Jalen Carter because we passed up on him. I have to say it. Looking at what Jalen Carter is doing right now, I have to say, man, we probably could have had him instead of having Gibbs. Even though I was very excited when we picked Gibbs because of his speed and the things that he can do. But like I said, I'm willing to give him a little more time. What about Jonah Jackson being out? I know the offensive line has been kicking butt, but we already are missing. We already have a replacement at right guard. I didn't realize that Jonah Jackson was going to be out as well. So now we have to have another interior replacement. Do you think that we're going to
Goodness.
struggle a little bit in the middle, or is it going to be business as usual?
I mean, hopefully it'll be business. I think it'll be business as usual. If one thing the Lions have is depth at positions that, I mean, I'm not saying we wish they didn't have depth there, but
Right.
we need more depth at corner and stuff. But no, they have good depth at positions like safeties and linemen. Like every time we have a second string lineman, they tend to be pretty decent.
Right.
So honestly, I think it'll be business as usual. Yeah.
Okay. We brought Bam Knight up, and he did okay in the few carries he had because of Jameer Gibbs being hurt. Now Bam Knight is out. Have you maybe I missed something, son? Did we bring another linebacker, excuse me, running back up from the practice squad, or did we bring someone in? Because basically we now have David Montgomery and Craig Reynolds. So is there another running back there that we brought in that I'm not hearing about or that is somehow slipped past me?
No, not that I know of, but knowing the Lions, they cool with giving like they don't care. They'll just give Montgomery the ball 20 times or however many times they're gonna give it to him anyways, and then give Craig Reynolds his 6 carries. Like that's what they're probably gonna do. So no, because Bam Knight, I think he's out for the season actually. They just haven't put him on
Oh,
injured reserve actually. Because I
oh
heard
man.
Emmanuel Mosley and Bam Knight were supposed to be out for the season, but they still have them on the injury report.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe they're being optimistic. That's what someone was saying. But I don't think they brought anyone else up because I bet
Okay.
you it's just going to be, yeah, Montgomery.
Okay. Okay. Well, there is another player. He has not made much of an impact that's on this list, but I do want to ask you about him. Well, first of all, I want to say, man, what a bad break for Emmanuel Mosley. He,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, son, he tore his ACL, so he was coming back from that, and in his first game back, he injures his knee and he's out for the season. I don't know what to say. A lot of fans were very excited about bringing Mosley in, but the player I want to ask you about is Josh Pascal, our second round pick from the other year. He has also been injury prone. In the one game we saw him in, he gave some flashes of something he could be. I mean, what's up with these guys that are just so injury prone?
Yeah, I completely forgot about him at this
That's what I'm
point.
trying to say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because he's a second round pick, that's why he stays heavy on my mind because I'm saying like, wow, I mean, we know we spent a second round pick on this kid and he's just been injury prone.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why that person was bringing up that yoga or something they got to do because I don't know. I don't understand how. Yeah. How many starters? That's like 5 or 6 starters that are out.
Yeah, and Pascal never started. He's just supposed to been a depth pick, but
Yeah.
you can't be depth if you're not there. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. For now, let's move on and talk about this game against Tampa Bay. Let's first give our thoughts on. Let's start with the defense first. What are you expecting from our defense, and what do our defense need to do to hold down Tampa Bay and help us win the game?
Um. So once again, I expect stout run defense from us. I won't be surprised if we have good run defense. I'm not exactly sure who are the Buccaneers rocking at running back anyways.
Oh man, something white. What's the guy? I mean, I know,
Rod
but
White,
his
maybe?
name he starts with
Oh
an
yeah,
R.
Rashad White.
Thank you. I'm saying the first name starts with R. It just slipped my mind.
Yeah, so me, shoot, the problem is not going to be the run game. They've showed that they pretty much can shut down the run game. The
Mhm.
problem is going to be Mike Evans and whoever their number 2 receiver is. And
Godwin.
let's just be real. Mike Evans is going to be cooking. So if Adam Thielen was cooking, I don't see how Mike Evans won't be, unless somehow Cam Son can really put it on him. But we'll see about that. I don't know. So
My thoughts on Mike Evans' son would be is that he could. The thing with Adam Thielen is a wide out receiver who is very good inside. I don't think that Mike Evans is going to be as good underneath. Mike Evans is really more of an over the top receiver, which is what I'm more concerned about. I mean, he is what 6'5", 6'4". He's
yeah,
definitely not shorter than 6'4".
yeah.
I mean, he's a big boy. He's like 6'5", 230. That's my concern, that you need to have a safety over top just in case Baker Mayfield begins to, try to throw the ball up high. What else do you see on our defense that needs to step up?
Honestly, I uh, I get what people have been really hyping up our line, but like I said, I feel like that's really because of I feel like that's really because of our rush defense. I feel like our rush defense is so good because some people are saying, "Well, when the Lions have the number one line in the NFL by the end of the season," like probably not, because
Right.
in my opinion, we still don't have like that crazy pass rush where the quarterback is almost like scared to sit back there in the pocket. So I think once we get, I mean, I feel like if we can get consistent pressure on Baker Mayfield, then we'll probably be cool. Then we won't have to worry too much about the corners. But I'm honestly worried about how good the defensive line would be on the pass rush. Even though technically, shoot, I mean, if you go by PFF, we have the seventh best defense in the league. So, but still,
Got you. I would say that that's going to be a key to this game. I believe that we're going to shut the run down again, but I believe a key to this game, son, is going to be not letting Baker Mayfield move out of the pocket. Remember, Baker Mayfield can move. People need to remember that. He may not be the fastest quarterback in the league, but when he was at Oklahoma, we saw it. When he was in Cleveland, we saw it. Baker Mayfield can move and make plays happen. I think the key is going to be is to not let him scramble to the right, scramble to the left, and extend plays. It's going to be to get that pass rush on him, to keep him inside the pocket and disrupt it that way. That's what I believe. Okay, let's move on to the offense, to our Lions on offense. What do you see? What do you think our offense has to do to put up points against this Tampa Bay team that actually has a pretty good defense?
yo, they actually have an amazing defense. I did not realize they're actually, and they have to be behind the 49ers. Their defense is stout. Uh,
True.
they've actually only allowed 68 points, I guess. And the 49ers only allowed like 50 or something like that. So they're like just behind the 49ers. So their defense is like underratedly good. But I guess if you look at it, they have a decent corner. I'm pretty sure they have Carlton Davis. So I know he's a decent corner. And then they got Jamal Dean. I've never heard of him. And I know they got a good safety. But honestly, we just got to keep doing the same thing that they've been doing. Jared Goff, even though I sometimes I wish that he would be more of a deep ball guy, but clearly they don't need to get too cute. I just think they keep
Right.
giving the ball to Montgomery. And if the run game can
Right.
work, then you can eventually throw it over top to hopefully Jamison Williams or Josh Reynolds. But honestly, Jamison Williams is an iffy thing because we're seeing how the Lions are treating the younger players. Some of them aren't getting the ball as much as we would like them to. Other than Sam Laporta, for a rookie, he's been getting the ball just as much as a veteran would. But no, I would just like to see. I would like to see another 100-yard game out of Montgomery. And honestly, yeah, I think if we just have consistent run game, because I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game, then we'll be all right. I think this game is going to have to do a lot with like time of possession.
I'm gonna jump in and agree with you on that. I believe that David Montgomery is going to be the key. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see him with at least 25 carries. I think it's going to be a game where we're going to want to grind the ball out. Sam Laporta is going to do his thing in the middle of the field. The reason why he gets the ball a lot because he's earned it. To be honest, Sam Laporta gets open in the middle of the field on play action. He gets deep. I know I said this last week, but I actually see Jamison Williams playing a bigger part in this game. I think he'll do better than 2 receptions for 2 yards. They need to use, how been using Khalif Raymond on that end around. I think you need to get Jamison Williams at least 2 of those a game.
Yeah.
You want to work him back in. Let's get him on the end around. Let him use that speed. They tried to get him on a screen last week, but the Panthers sniffed it out. Get him on the screen. I think you have to do something like that to get him going. I think that he could be a surprising X factor in this game. But Amon St. Brown, I'm looking at the injury report, he's gonna play. It just says unspecified, unless it says out. I heard former NFL players always say, unless it says a guy is out, he's gonna play. So Amon St. Brown takes the pressure off of the numbers 2, 3, and 4 receivers. It also opens up Sam Laporta a little bit more. Now, I will say something offensively that I think is also going to play a key. I think it's going to be special teams. I wouldn't be surprised to see Patterson kick at least 3 field goals. I think that if we can get like 9 points just from him, I think that that would help us get the win. And I believe that field possession is always a thing. So we're talking about Jack Fox way in the back. All right. I mean, I'm sorry, pushing those guys back and, not allowing them to get good field position. All right. Well, let's talk about our predictions. We've talked about the offense. We've talked about the defense. What's your prediction for the game?
So with all three, because I guess this is something I wanted to bring up. So with all three of our receivers being, this is just PFF. All three of our receivers are ranked higher than Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. So my projection is if the Lions, I don't know how to explain it, because we're not good at coming back. If they come out, which I don't think they'll come out lackadaisical, like they've been playing with good effort, but if for some reason they come out and the Bucks are able to get up by like 10 early, then I don't think we'll have a chance to stay in the game simply because the Buccaneers defense is so good and they do have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and I'm not worried about the run game. But I think if we keep getting the ball to Josh Reynolds and he doesn't and he doesn't go back to his Butterfinger self, and he's a dependable guy, and we can hit him on. I mean, maybe I think Amon-Ra might be limited on his snap count, maybe because I don't know what his injury was, so I don't know if he'll
Right.
play just as much as he usually does. But even if we can work him in a little bit in those underneath routes, I think it should be a pretty comfortable win. Like if I had to give a projection, 24-17 Lions. That's what I would say. And I would say I think that's as far as it goes. Like I don't think we're going to win by like multiple touchdowns, to be honest, like I thought we would with the Panthers and stuff. I think it's
Okay.
definitely going to be a tight game. Like I think it's going to be a game, even if we win by 7 points, it won't, not that it won't feel like we dominated them, but I feel like we'll be like, well, yeah, maybe the Bucks are a playoff team. Because if you look at the NFC South, they are starting to pull away. They're at the top of their division. So they
Right.
know the Bucks. I think the Bucks are really going to come out playing hard because they know that they need to win this game if they want to take control of their division. But yeah, like I was saying before, I think if Jared Goff just continues being a game manager like he has been and throwing those good throws,
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll be all right. And even if Mike Evans ends up having 150 yards or whatever, we could still be okay as long as we can shut down the run game at least.
Yeah, the thing is that Tampa Bay is coming off of a bye week, which means that they had more time to prepare. So they're going to be prepared for this game. Even with that said, I do believe that the Lions can put up 27 points. I can see 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. I think it's going to be, my prediction is going to be 27-10 Lions. I think that we can beat them by 10 points because I believe that our defense is going to show up. I almost want to say 27-20, make it a 1-score game, but I have a feeling that we're going to win this game and we're going to win it comfortable. It's not going to be a blowout. This is not going to be like the Panthers, but I believe that we can win it comfortable. And I agree with you. The Lions have to come out and strike first, kind of like we've been doing. We cannot go into a game. I don't care if it's against Tampa Bay. We cannot go into a game down 10-0, 13-3 or something like that. Not that we can't make a comeback, but we're good when the game is close or we're already ahead.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction. I think that the Lions will have another win. I think we're going to come out of this game 5-1, and we're going to go into that game against the Ravens next week, hopefully with some more players, ready to go. Because I'm looking at the injury report, and I know a lot of Lions fans say, we're not concerned about Branch being out, not because we don't need him, but because we're thinking about the postseason. We're going to need guys completely healthy and everybody ready to go in. But first we have to get past Tampa
I
Bay
see we got to
tomorrow.
get to the postseason.
Exactly. So, son, did we miss anything? Do you have any other thoughts?
No, I don't think so. Except Michigan is for some reason in a close game with Indiana.
Oh, what's the score? I haven't checked the score in a minute.
I'm pretty sure it's tied at halftime.
You know
Oh no,
that
never mind. They somehow they put up 14 points in 2 minutes. So it's
Oh,
21-7 now.
oh,
Well, I just
okay.
figured we had some Michigan fans in here too, so I just had to report on that.
Well,
But the Bucks,
of course. You always have to throw that in.
dang, they
They're
scored quick.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's it, Lions fans. That's pretty much what we have. Hope you all enjoy the rest of this afternoon and watch some football. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube page. If you look at our tickers, you see our TikTok, you see our Twitter/X. I'm sorry, people. It's just hard for me to say follow us on X, but
Yeah,
follow us on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Other than that, that pretty much that's all we have. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow after the game. Peace.
peace.